Which county-operated facility generated more than $509 million in economic activity last year? Find out next on Inside St. Lucie. Hello and welcome to this edition of Inside St. Lucie, SLC TV's monthly government affairs show. I'm your host, Eric Gill, Communications Division Director for St. Lucie County. And on today's show, we're going to talk about the Port of Fort Pierce, as well as the Treasure Coast International Airport, with my guests, St. Lucie County Commissioner Chris Sadowski and Port and Seaport Director Stan Payne. But before we meet our guests, there's some upcoming events and announcements from the Board of County Commissioners. St. Lucie County pools are now open through Memorial Day weekend. The county operates 3 public pools, the Ravenswood Pool in Port St. Lucie, the Lakewood Park Pool in the northwest area of the county, and the Lincoln Park Pool in Fort Pierce. For details on hours and programs, visit our website at stlucieco.gov/aquatics. Don't let the construction scare you away. The St. Lucie Mets are still playing baseball at First Data Field, located at 527 Northwest Peacock Boulevard in Port St. Lucie. Games are underway now through early September. For ticket information, call 772-871-2115 or visit stluciemets.com. A reminder that the Board of County Commission meetings are held at 6 p.m. on the first Tuesday and at 9 a.m. on the third Tuesday in the Commission Chambers of the Roger Poitras Administration Annex, 2300 Virginia Avenue, Fort Pierce. The Board typically holds an informal meeting on the second Tuesday at 9 a.m. in Conference Room 3. However, please note that during the month of June, the Commission Chambers will be under renovation and the Board will be taking a brief recess. Now for the latest updates about all St. Lucie County Commission meetings, workshops, and events, be sure to visit our website at stlucieco.gov and click on our comprehensive calendar. And if you'd like to be added to our press release distribution list, send us an email at slctv@stlucieco.org. We'll be happy to include you. We also hope you'll follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're going to take a quick break. Before we do, we're going to check in with the latest economic development stats with another St. Lucie work. On the tourism front, St. Lucie County's bed tax revenue dropped by 4% in March compared to last year's record-setting number. Overall building activity increased by 42% in March compared to February, with 910 permits being submitted. Revenue for that same time frame increased by 20%. According to the Florida Realtors Association, the median home sale price in March for St. Lucie County was $230,000, up 4% from last year, while condos increased in value by more than 13%, with the median price at $220,000. St. Lucie's unemployment rate dropped in March to 3.9%, down from February's 4.2%. Back in 2016, the county's unemployment rate was 5.2%. The statewide unemployment rate for March was 3.9%. There were 6,500 more jobs on the Treasure Coast compared to last year, with the largest gains in professional services with 1,800, mining and construction with 1,500, and education and health services with 1,000. If you work for a local business looking for skilled or trained labor, be sure to contact the staff at CareerSource as they can assist your company with its recruitment and training needs. And if you're an individual looking for a job, they can help you as well. Visit the CareerSource online at careersourcerc.com or call 1-866-4U2-HIRE. Welcome back to Inside St. Lucie. I'm your host, Eric Gill, and I'm joined by St. Lucie County Commissioner Chris Sadowski. Commissioner, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Port and Seaport Director Stan Payne. Sorry for the reach. Thanks for coming on, gentlemen. I thought we'd start first with the airport, since the state of Florida recently put out a study showing that we've had some huge increases as far as the economic impact that the Treasure Coast International Airport has here, not just on St. Lucie County, but really the whole region.
Absolutely. And when I first came into office, the airport was also exists type area. But for me, I wanted to make it a primary issue moving forward as an economic engine. And after the first 3 or 4 years, we started hearing some reports back that, leases were being met, leases were being let, people were being hired, and then it moved on to about $158 million in economic impact. And since then, the most recent numbers in 17 come back over $500 million. So we're basically more than tripled the activity from economic development there and economic impact.
Stan, you've been with the county for a couple of years, but you were working as a consultant contractor prior to that. What do you attribute that success to at the airport?
Focus. It's a focus. You go in every day and you think about not just the operation of the airport, but you think about the focus of the development moving forward. It makes a big difference because you can get so caught up in the day-to-day operations of something as busy as an airport and as technical, you forget about the fact that you need to grow.
Yeah, and you talk about the day-to-day. I mean, that's almost 4,000 acres. That's a lot of lawn to mow. So even things like that. But we've got great partnerships. I think Briggs & Stratton, they do some of the mowing for us to test some of the equipment out there. And
that was an interesting thing I learned whenever I first got here. Briggs & Stratton, Stratton go out there and cut the grass to check on how good their machines were.
And you see guys with a little push mower. Is he doing that a whole lot like that? But it's R&D.
But you asked about, and you talk about focus. And I think what we've seen is a focus of the Board of County Commissioners. From a policy standpoint, when you have something of that magnitude, from a business standpoint, and it's underserved, it's underutilized, we had a very tough time when I came in 2008, 2009. Of course, we all went through the recession. I'll call it a depression. But at that time, we started to look at what do we have and how can we continue to help push the economy? Because we were relying on rooftops, retirees, and tourism for so many years. We needed to diversify what we were doing in the county. Along with the airport, we developed opportunities through the planning department and the building department, getting people to work faster, breaking down the hurdles, getting business to business faster. That always is one of the biggest challenges that investments and those who invest make. But we took during the recession and put the foundation in place, and now we're starting to see the results of that some 8-9 years later.
Yeah, and speaking of foundations, we got foundations going in now. We got a new hangar that's because we're 100% leased out all the space at the airport. We also did some improvements. Standing elaborate, we had some ribbon cutting and a groundbreaking on the same day recently.
Well, the father of those improvements, the entrance area and the parking lot is sitting next to me, and we ended up with a magnificent sign. Once again, I'm going to give you the credit for that.
The backstory, folks, is that I had pushed to get a sign so that it could also tell the story of what was happening at the airport. So it's a digital sign. So now those who have businesses there can advertise on that sign and let people know that there's really activity going on at the airport. And that was very important, I thought, from a marketing standpoint. It's quiet and lonely out there for most times, but now that we have Maverick Boats building, 200,000 square feet of manufacturing and expanding, and Pursuit moving forward with almost 500,000 square feet of manufacturing, there's going to be more traffic along that road. So I pushed really hard to try and make sure that we had a sign that was prominent enough to really see what 4,000 acres of airport looks like, rather than driving by and seeing just an airfield and a few buildings. Wanted people to know what it was. So I'll take full, I'm not sure if it's a credit or if it's
or blame.
Or blame, yeah.
Sure.
So
well, let's talk about some of the business there. There are 3,400 jobs out there at the airport, and there's everything from people that paint, motors that go on those Pursuit boats to people that work on engines. There's a flight school that's also seeing some expansion, and I think that shows to the investments that are being made out there with the flight school, with the money we've gotten from the Department of Economic Opportunity. Stan, you want to touch on that and some of the businesses we have out there?
Well, yeah. I mean, airports are wonderful in the diversity of businesses that they have. But you have a flight school that's large. It's going to grow larger, but it's adding this mechanics and technician school, what we call A&P school, which is perfect because it's going to complement the new hangar that we're building for apprenticeships and training programs like that. So you have a private hangar that's going to be built that's actually bigger than ours. So there's a lot of activity going on right now. But that's the focus, is this creation of really good jobs, and aviation provides that.
Yeah, because I think people think when they think of airport, I'm just getting on a plane and going to Des Moines or wherever I'm going. But, our focus really has been the MRO and job creation.
And manufacturing, renovation, refit, overhaul.
MRO.
You're absolutely right. And one of the things that I was able to bring to the table is I spent 25 years in the airline industry as a safety professional, and as part of that, I saw so many airports around the world where they were diversified. They weren't just in aviation. the business development around an airport where all those properties are, manufacturing works well. You have noise and dust and things of that nature sometimes that come with manufacturing. And so where better to put that than a place by the airport where airplanes fly by.
Sure.
But it's an economic picture that's well rounded, so that if aviation comes in, we'll come here. If aviation goes south like it does in all cycles, the business model will continue to pick itself up around whatever might be cycling at any given time.
Sure. And it's also part of the FTZ, or foreign trade zone. So there's an opportunity when you speak about manufacturing to ship those products out, not just regionally, but worldwide. Yeah.
Now we'll be expanding that. We're in the midst of doing that to at least 2 other counties and to the port, because there are some benefits to what we're doing at the port from being in a foreign trade zone.
Yeah. Well, since you made that perfect segue over to the port, the other hat you wear is the Seaport Director. We've got some activity happening there. It was a long process to go through. It was about a year-long RFP process to find an operator.
Probably a little longer.
And it goes back longer than that.
Yeah.
I mean, Howard says that that port's been there 100 years, privately owned. It was the first time. I mean, when I first started the county, longtime county administrator Doug Anderson said his biggest regret in his 17 years was not purchasing the port. And and again, he couldn't do it. The board at the time just didn't want to pull the trigger and make that investment. And you still caught a little flack. I remember seeing some comments online. Sure. As, why are you spending $25 million, or was it $20 million to purchase the port?
27 total, 25 for part of it, and $3 million for the 10% adjustment for another piece. But the issue here is that St. Lucie County has the 15th of 15 deepwater ports.
As far as
from
revenue.
economic, yeah. And so because it's been in private hands, that investment from the state or federal or ports councils and other opportunities for grants didn't come.
Sure.
And so it was a very stressful time for decision making for the board, but understanding that not having ownership of that port was not going to get it off the ground. And so it is pretty amazing that the interest that has come since the county has purchased that small piece of property with a really big opportunity for revenue and investment and economic impact has actually seen a lot more interest. And Stan's probably getting phone calls every week on what's happening at the port and what can we do to get in there.
It's amazing the level of activity you see now, and the level of interest. We do get calls just about every other day. People wanting to bring yachts in, people wanting to bring businesses in, people wanting to expand on some of the other properties there. So we've gone 2 years ago to a vast expanse of a dormant area to where it's exciting now. Loads of activity. I can see it right out my window.
And I was just to say, and the community is buying in big time, because when they see the mega yachts come and go, they're like, we've arrived, because Fort Pierce, St. Lucie County has always been looked like as the stepbrother, stepsister, whatever, and not for the prominence that we know exists here in the Treasure Coast. We are a gem. And so now we're starting to see, and people are believing in that. And we're seeing that in the development that's coming around, whether it be houses or manufacturing investments and so on. But it's an exciting time, as Stan has said.
Yeah, and you talk about the port's performance or lack of performance in economic development. But when you rank it as far as accessibility, it's probably one of the best ports on the East Coast. I mean, as somebody goes out and dives and goes out the inlet, that's a straight shot. It's an easy navigable inlet. There's no bridges. There's no power lines. It's, was it 3 miles from the port to the ocean? Less than that?
Maybe,
probably?
yeah.
The deep water access, 20.
Yeah, that's the benefit of the history of the port being a cargo port. You have 2 things. You have deep water, deep enough for what we're going to do and in the future, and the docks were built as heavy-duty cargo docks. It's not a marina being converted for mega yachts. It's a cargo port being converted for mega yachts. And so the infrastructure is already there, the heavy-duty infrastructure. It's a huge advantage.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out too for the local investors, Mr. Woods and Khalil Mack and Sandy Mack and Buddy Hack, who are part of Fort Pierce Yacht and Ship. They're already up and running. They're doing great things out there. They saw what was coming too, and so now we're going to have 2 operators, and hopefully down the road maybe more. My hope is that the property owners in the area will come to the table and be a part of the bigger picture and even make it much, much, much more successful.
Sure.
So.
So bring everyone up to speed in case they weren't aware, Fort Pierce Shipping Yacht was the second company. We went with Director, which had a little bit of a longer history, and they're based out of Florida, and they've got offices up in New York as well. They're going to be focused on mega yacht rehab, maintenance, overhaul, 300 feet and up, 400 feet?
Yeah, 200 feet and up, but primarily the larger end of the spectrum, which, the dock is 450 feet long. So you're thinking about how large a ship, but two modestly sized vessels there, or one large one. But sailboats, sailboats is one of the keys. No one does that in this country, the large sailing vessels. Yeah. So that's a niche that they're absolutely focused on right now.
And I when I heard that and what was stated in it, and it sticks with me to today, and will probably always, is no one is servicing these sailing mega yachts in this hemisphere. Not just this country, in this hemisphere. That just gives you the grandiose picture of what these types of things are going to be.
Yeah, and if you own one of those vessels, this is probably where you want to keep it anyway. For here south, you know what I mean? If I had a vessel that size, I'm going to be trolling around the islands, and so we're we're at least in close proximity to get access to those. And
my hope is that because of the synergies where the airport and the port are co-located, if you have an owner of a vessel that's coming in or bringing their crew in, they fly in, they charter in, and they come down to the port. And we're looking at a possibility of a couple of hotels, one maybe on North Beach, one in downtown Fort Pierce.
The old King plant.
So when you have these crews, some of these ships, they have 15, 20, 30 crew members. So they're going to need places to stay, and if they're here for a period of time, they're going to need places to go, downtown eateries, shopping,
Sailfish,
etc. So.
Or Pierce Cider, there's other places too. But again, Fort Pierce has made some of those investments already, so that it not only create job revenue, but like you said, it'll have an economic impact through tourism, sales tax, the like. But is there any concern about the workforce? This could create I've seen anywhere, reports say anywhere 200 to 800 jobs. Do we have the skilled workforce ready for that?
Well, if I may, because the apprenticeship program that the county actually was really first out of the box in the state, really. And back in 2009, we started talking about an agreement with the building trades because we were seeing a downturn in the industry, and so a lot of those folks who came here from somewhere else were all leaving. So we saw a vacuum of trained quality tradespersons. And so we went into an agreement with the building trades and built out an apprenticeship program. It was supported by a federal grant and then also a grant through what is now Career Source Research Coast. And that opportunity exists today and has since 2010. But we also have Indian River State College, which has moved into that, I guess there's a term for it, but I'm going to use my old school vocational training. But they have a program that's already in place as well. So there are opportunities for people to get into the training. Sometimes they're 4-year apprenticeship programs, some are 2. But if anybody wants a job and they want training, they can get it now. And that's Career Source Research Coast. You start there, do the application process. They'll get things set up for tuition and even as much as tools. So those jobs at the port and the airport are going to be paying $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000. And who knows where that number will go. Yeah,
we had Brian from Career Source on last month, and talked about that. Even for teenagers, the Summer Success Program. So there's opportunities out there for folks to find a job, and the unemployment rate down is under 4% now, which I think when you first took office, it was probably around 15. It was 16.9. Yeah. I'll never forget it. Yeah. So that's a huge jump in 12 years. Yeah. But the one thing, the first jobs that are going to be coming, and I'm going to look to stand, was June 1st. The one thing that everybody in downtown will see, and those who cross the bridge daily, will be the demolition of the old packing house. And I went and toured it just recently, and to see the engineering from 100 years ago is pretty amazing that expands. And it's amazing and terrifying when you walk upstairs in that rotted wood, and some of it's a little soft. I was hoping Workman's Comp was going to cover Flynn and I when we were in there shooting video. But I think you needed to have your rubber hazmat suits. Tetanus shots up to date. But there is, but it is pretty cool to see an old building like that. And sad to see it go, but it's also nice to see progress. And what will be happening with that space? Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, it's a big space, and it's perfect for pulling yachts up and working on those on land. And that's where the economies are. The economics that drive this for Director are based on being able to pull the yachts up and work. And so now they have a huge space.
And so there will be, I assume, some type of crane to get those out, right?
Well, there'll be two things, as a matter of fact. On the north side, there's going to be a what they call a mobile hoist, a ship lift. And it's going to be a very, very large one. And then on the south side, there's going to be a dry dock. So there'll be two means to do that. And Director is all over the terminal right now. They're actually coming in waves of people every week, a different group every week coming in, getting ready. And it's very exciting to see that.
Absolutely. One concern I think residents have always had with development at the port is the health and safety of the environment in the lagoon. Whether it's cargo or cruise ships or whatever they've talked about over the years, everybody's worried about. They don't want the port any deeper than it is, and we want to make sure we protect the environment and what's around it. So what kind of safety measures are going into place? I would think it's very low maintenance, but when you're talking about painting 400-foot boat, you want to make sure that paint is contained on the land and not end up in the waterway.
I'll let you take it, then I'm going to follow up.
Well, number one, we were very clear in our contract with Director of what our expectations are. That's number one. And number two, there are a lot of different programs and certifications and all that they are going to be part of.
And probably already are with the
the
programs, the yards they have down south.
And I've had some private discussions, and they take it very seriously. So
sure.
I feel good about that. It's just part of their business.
Sure. I think people, I remember when I was a reporter in North Carolina, people would always point at commercial fishermen as ruining the environment. And I thought, these people make their living off of fishing. Why would they want to destroy that livelihood? And I think the same thing, if your business is to keep these yachts in the water and you want to make sure that water is pretty and clean for these yachts to sail.
Well, it's funny, although not a mega yacht, Scott Deal recently had an article in the local newspaper about how fishing and fishing is green and blue, and it's a fishing green-blue economy. And he made it very clear that I want the waters to be clear, because if I'm selling somebody a vessel in the range that he sells them, 40, 50 feet, and then you have one that's 200 or 500 feet, you want to travel around an ocean that is full of mess, or come into your own port area and look bad. I will share that I had huge concerns early on, and Buddy Hack gave me a personal tour of one of the vessels that was in there for a paint job, and I inspected the inside of the envelope, and they had negative pressure. They had somebody that their only job was to go to the base where it was connected to the ship, and clean any of the debris that may have fallen into the catch basin, and nothing goes in the water. And I was so thoroughly impressed at how much time they took to maintain the area in which they were working, to make sure it was clean and nothing went into the water.
Sure. And then there's also local ordinances and state laws that will help regulate that if something were to ever happen.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody knows how much I've invested, personally in trying to make sure our waters are clean, whether it's our oyster reef restorations, sure, artificial reef programs, neighborhood cleanups, simply those types of things, fertilizer ordinances.
Yeah.
And most recently, we battled back a biosolid facility that would have been given the opportunity to dump their discharge rainwater into the C25 and C24, C25. And so that's just been a big focus, and that'll never change for me. And I've gotten assurances from both operators down there that is a high level of interest for them. So.
Well, we're running short on time. Is there anything we didn't get to mention before we wrap up?
Not on the port and airport, but it's hot outside. We're moving into June, and in May was even as hot as you can be. So stay hydrated out there. I personally had a little issue of dehydration recently, and so my personal message to everybody is
your personal PSA.
Yes.
Drink lots of water.
Drink lots of water. Get some Gatorade. Get some electrolytes, and be careful with your kids around pools. I mean, that's an important issue, and St. Lucie County has a program for Learn to Swim. So hopefully your children are getting opportunities to learn how to swim and to protect ourselves.
Absolutely. The Sheriff's Office, the Parks Department offer programs. They can go to the website at stlucico.gov/aquatics. The pools are open and swim lessons are available. Even, like you said, there's scholarships. So make sure we get those kids safe around water, and adults too. I had a buddy that almost didn't graduate college because he was afraid to take the swimming course. But
Wow.
That's where I learned to swim. Was in
Oh, is
college.
it really at college?
And I want to thank Stan. Stan, he's so busy, and for him to come in today was a lot, and I appreciate that because you've got so much going on, and so he's assured me too that he's got his thumb on the MRO, on time, under budget.
Yes, sir.
And when are we thinking for?
Probably April of this next year, but one never knows. Could
Weather.
be sooner.
Sooner is better.
Sooner is better. Well, thank you both for coming on.
Thanks.
Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to, speaking of hurricane season, we're going to check in with the progress being made out at the EOC. Weeks before the start of the official hurricane season, St. Lucie County and its partners, including the Florida Department of Emergency Management and Florida Power and Light, conducted several training exercises to make sure their staff, equipment, and procedures are ready for another hurricane season. FP&L assembled hundreds of staff members and equipment out at the St. Lucie County Fairgrounds, where Midway Road meets State Road 70. The nearly 200-acre site will serve as the staging area for the utility company in the event a hurricane or tropical storm impacts our area. Given its ample space and easy access to Interstate 95 and the Florida Turnpike, as well as the fact the fairgrounds also houses the Douglas M. Anderson Emergency Operations Center, this location is an ideal spot to stage and deploy utility trucks and crews following a storm. In the coming months, St. Lucie County will continue to make improvements to the staging site by adding additional paved areas to accommodate more trucks and heavy equipment. Utility companies weren't the only ones getting ready for hurricane season. St. Lucie County staff spent more than a half a day working through an exercise looking at the resources needed in the days immediately following a direct hit from a major storm, as well as the long-term impacts. While experts are predicting just an average hurricane season, St. Lucie County public safety officials remind residents that it only takes one storm to cause havoc. Back in 1992, scientists believed that summer would be a below-average season. Yet Hurricane Andrew hit South Florida in August as a Category 5, causing $27.3 billion in damages. Don't let your guard down. Make sure you have an evacuation plan. Use shelters as a place of last resort. If you think you need to utilize the Medical Special Needs Shelter or the Pet Friendly Shelter, make sure you pre-register now. Take time to update your insurance information. If you don't currently have flood insurance, you might want to consider it. Flooding is the #1 natural disaster in the United States. While the average flood insurance premium in the U.S. is roughly $700 per year, the average flood claim is $42,000, and the Sunshine State leads the nation in flooding claims. Most Floridians know what they need to have in their hurricane preparedness kits, including water, non-perishable foods, medicine, cash, pet supplies, and batteries for radios, flashlights, and cell phones. But if you need a refresher, visit the county's website at stlucieco.gov/EOC. And if you'd like to have a member of the public safety staff talk to your homeowners association or civic group, contact us at 772-462-8100. If you haven't already, be sure to sign up for Alert St. Lucie e-notifications to make sure you're receiving any and all important public safety messages that are being sent out. Sign up at stlucieco.gov/alert. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of Inside St. Lucie, and we hope you'll tune in again next month. If you have topics or subjects you'd like to see covered here on the program related to St. Lucie County government, give us a call at 772-462-1791 or send us an email at slctv@stlucieco.org. If you'd like to see previously aired episodes of this or other SLCTV programs, visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/stluciegov. I'm your host, Eric Gill, for myself and the staff. Thanks for watching.